It helped me a lot. I think mainly talking. I think talking mainly because I'd like to just like sit there in class and I guess like learn by myself, and I was very individualistic, I think. But Courtney made me raise my hand once, like every day, and she made me talk standing up behind my chair. And I think that's really helped me a lot in public speaking. I know that got me into doing speech and debate, and doing, I think learning law was a very big thing that I think Courtney got me into. And she helped me with a lot of my essays, even when she wasn't mentoring me here at MindsMatter. And I feel like even though she wasn't here physically with me, she was always my mentor because she helped me outside. I emailed her my essays and she emailed me back, and they sounded like some graduate paper after she edited them, I feel like. And she helped me a lot with my like grammar and a lot of English because this is my second language. And yeah, although she left me for Courtney's baby, I'm still thankful that she was my mentor. And Matt is very different from Courtney, I think. I think we have a very similar thing of like being very laid back. But we like to do our own things, but we get it done like really quickly. And when we finish our work, we like to do a lot of weird things, like go on the internet, and I guess we always like look up either something about history or something about disgusting foods around the world. It's really true. We just like look up random things on the internet and we learn these random facts, and I feel like he knows so many random things. I don't know. Like, I play golf, and he did when he was little, so then we talked about golf. We talked about a lot of Constitution things because that's like what we studied. Yeah, and even though we never ran into each other at our volunteer place, we did work at the same place. So I feel like all my mentors and I have a lot of things in common. And although I feel like when we filled out the mentor sheet, I did put that I like shopping, so maybe that's how we got matched together. But I feel like because of them, I was able to go to all my summer programs at really good colleges, and I was able to get into Wellesley, even though I had no idea what that school was in September. But I feel like I got into college because of them. I feel like even though I did the stuff that were in my resume, I'm the one that went to high school, but I feel like they were the ones that like were the levers that got me into college. And I hope they keep in touch with me in college. They're very good with emailing, so I like it.
Next up, we have Cece.
Our big group again. Maria, Anusha, Derek. So I've been at the table, Kathy, Cece, Anusha, since, and Derek joined us their junior year. I haven't mentioned the matching thing. I totally forgot about that the first week or week before we started, where we wrote things about ourselves and matched up. But what I wanted to mention was, I don't think there was ever a doubt that our group was never the right match. It was kind of a mismatch, but also it totally worked. And I think we've had a lot of fun over the years, and I'm really proud of everything that you've accomplished and all the hard work that you've done.
So I met Cece as a junior. When I first met you, I came and sat down in the lunchroom with you, and you said, okay, the first thing you know about me is I'm not going to work hard. But that was a complete lie, because you worked so hard. You got so much done. And you'd come in and it almost seemed like you didn't want to say you were doing stuff, and all of a sudden I'd turn around and turn back and you had a ton of stuff done. And both like Kathy flew under the radar, you flew under the radar. I think a lot of these mentees, I say flew under the radar, but they don't like to boast about themselves. They don't like to talk about how hard they work. It's almost like they don't want to say it, but they do. Another thing that was so impressive to me about Cece is she was always there. It's not easy to come in every Saturday for 5 hours, including lunch, 4.5 hours, including lunch. She was always there. That's an incredible accomplishment. You're always on time, which I'm learning something from you. So that's great. Cece may say later she beat me in basketball. I wouldn't believe that, really. I would say we were 1-1. I think I won in the gym, I think you went outside, but we'll have to have a rematch. Last is Cece's incredible at math. And I'm an engineer. I would have loved to push all of these mentees to get into math or engineering, and no one really took it on, or it's not really in the cards for most of them, but Cece's incredible at math, and I really want to see what you do with that, and I think you're going to be great at it, so I'm excited. It might be a one-way bond, but, I'm really proud of her for that, and I'm really proud to see what she'll do.
Well, Cece, we've been together from the beginning. Yeah. I can't believe it's been almost 3 years. You've grown and matured and learned so much over the past 3 years, and I'm really proud to have been your mentor. You also don't share with everybody about all of the things that you do. You're such a leader within your family. As one of the first people to go to college, I think your sisters really look up to you, and they see you as a role model, and you're going to do fantastic work at PLU and beyond. And so I really believe that through your goals to be a pediatric surgeon, doctor, and also be able to share your experiences with students. And I'm really proud to have been your mentor.
So,
I don't talk like.
yeah, no. I don't even know. Well, there's Derek. He's the odd man out. I sort of bully him a lot. I push him around. I have beat you at basketball. He waited. We played Jenga, and he waited until the wind blew over our blocks because he knew he was going to lose.
I could have pulled the block.
I guess I really enjoy watching you come in late and sit down and then ask what's for lunch and then leave again and go get lunch every day. That's fun. With Anusha, she was my first mentor. I've also had another mentor, Shanna. But with Anusha, we've had our days where we sort of don't mesh or agree with what I should be doing, quite often actually. But she's always been there for me to help me make sure that I get what I need to do done while Derek is talking to Ben. And with Maria, like they said, we've always sat at a table together with Kathy. Even when we weren't technically a group, and we always work together because it just makes sense. We just fit together. You keep him away from me, and you bring Kathy, and it's just you sit by me. I'm there first, remember? I love that you bring in this sort of spiritual aspect to the physical and the mental. I mean, you make our group complete because, yeah. So, thank you guys.
And last, but certainly not least, we have Beat 2.
Hi, I'm Lindsay. I'm Beef 2's mentor. And gosh, it's really been us since the beginning. I still remember that first day being really nervous, and I feel like we clicked right away, which has made the past 3 years really fun. And I kind of always knew you were an amazing person, but it wasn't until the college and scholarship essay writing process that I really learned the depth of your compassion, your dedication to your schoolwork, to your faith, to your family, number one. And I also got to know how funny you are. If you guys know Beef 2, she's extremely quiet, but she's also hilarious. So, and I'm just so proud. And I'm really happy that you're staying here in Oregon, going to Lewis and Clark on a full ride, partly because she was a Kaiser Scholarship recipient. She doesn't really like to brag about herself, but I'm really.
I don't usually cry, so this is very awkward. I just want to thank you for just staying with me for 3 years and the support you guys all give us, and it's just a grateful thing for having you guys all in our lives, especially you. And the one thing I especially love out of this is not only did I get a mentor that could help me with everything, but just a great friend, and we bonded on so many things. And oh, it's just so weird. Sorry. And yeah, it's just, I'm so grateful for having you in my life, and glad that I know for sure we're still gonna stay connected, because we just connected and bonded so well, and we hit it off really quick. And I did have a previous mentor, and just thinking around just really meant a lot. And so thank you, and thank you guys all.
Thank you to all our mentees and mentors for the wonderful words they've said. I've only been working with this class for the past year, and I feel like it's so exciting, as I mentioned at the beginning, just to keep learning more about everyone and their relationships, and it was wonderful to hear what all of you had to say today. Next, we are going to hear from Mr. Ben Katoko.
This was a gift, so I can bring it up. So when Daniel asked me to give a speech at graduation, I was a little hesitant at first. I thought to myself, how could I, in this one speech, encapsulate what Minds Matter has done for my peers and I? It's a big question, and this past week I spent a whole lot of time thinking about it. And if you know me, so if you know me, one question always leads to another. So I thought long and hard about it, and I kept coming back to this. Why does Minds Matter exist, and what role has it played in our lives? Now, I think the answer is best summarized in my personal journey through this program with my two mentors, Scott and Joe. Sophomore year, I killed it. Freshman year, that is. I'm confident. I'm the one. No one can see me. But I've barely begun to understand who I am and what I want in my life. But I know attending college is a must. So I guess Minds Matter for 5 hours every Saturday isn't a bad idea. Scott and Joe, two white guys. I, a black kid. We'll see how this goes. But I like them. The compliments are good for the ego. Junior year, one summer program down in a new school, Cal and Gable. Would I have the same success that I had at Roosevelt? Every school week that year chipped away at my confidence. How could I succeed if all I could do was barely survive? But on Saturday afternoons, Scott and Joe were always there. Through the hours of hard work on summer program applications, they always found a way to remind me that I was capable. All I had to do was embrace it. Senior year, 2 summer programs down. How could I make it through this year? I'm burnt out. I've lost sight of my goals, my vision, my confidence. Is college even the right move for me? Well, Ben, you've got to figure that out for yourself. But no, we're here to support you in whatever decision you make. Saturday conversations with Scott and Joe were always grounding. I felt safe in my choices because I knew they were there for me. And let's face it, would I really be in college if they hadn't helped on those college applications? We all had struggles, insecurities, and worries in high school. High school is a time for that, and we need that chance to grow and evolve. But it's impossible to do that on your own. We need our people, our family, our friends, our mentors, to help us navigate that journey. Like our mentors, like Scott and Joe, Minds Matter has played a pivotal role in providing unconditional support in our lives as we navigate the fun, the difficult, and overall stressful time in our lives, high school. As I reflect on my journey today, I've grown and achieved confidence in myself that I once lost. This would not be possible if not for all of you in this room today. Each of you has shed light on our pathways and on mine. And for that, I give you a round of applause.
So as Ben mentioned, he was slightly hesitant to talk. He needed a little prodding maybe to speak in front of us. And if there's one thing that I don't understand about Ben, it's why he needs that prodding, since he's always such a wonderful speaker and good at, I think, distilling the essence of what he's experienced and explaining it to us. We have a few awards and scholarships to announce now. So first of all, I want to mention that I have, for everyone here, and I'll have to figure out the names on them afterwards, but we have stipends for all of our seniors, and these are intended to help with some of the initial college costs that you guys will have. And one of the things that I especially want to emphasize for the sophomores and juniors is that the senior who has the best attendance over the course of the past 3 years of Minds Matter gets a double stipend. And so this year, our attendance winner, very narrowly, is Kathy Trong. Next, we have a couple of scholarships, and I want to make sure I get the details right. So first of all, we have the Walker Family Scholarship. So the winner of the Walker Family Scholarship this year not only won a 4-year award for herself in college, but she also won a grant from the Walker Family Foundation for Minds Matter. Please join me in congratulating our Walker Scholarship winner, Karina Paul. And then, furthermore, we have the Leslie Works Weary Scholarship. This was named in memory of the wife of Patrick Weary, who is a close friend and U.S. Navy pal of our executive director, Graham Covington. Leslie Weary was an advocate for education and young people, and her family set up this foundation to help with some college costs for Minds Matter seniors. So we have 3 winners to announce.
May I interrupt you just a second?
Okay.
I already have. So the Leslie Works Weary Scholarship has been a little bit of a mystery over the years. Who is Leslie Works Weary? Her husband, Pat, was a navigator. We call him the navigator. He was a jet pilot on U.S. Navy carriers. Very, 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 very close friends of our family. And we've sailed all over the Caribbean together with Leslie. And Leslie was a big fan of the education of youth. And it's very fitting that the family has been willing to allow us to steal her moniker in honor of you guys. And you have donors out there who knew Leslie and who contributed to the foundation. And it is a foundation that is providing for the stipends, providing for the Leslie Works Weary Scholarship, which is a writing scholarship. Her nickname was Rapunzel, for those of you who like fairy tales, she was a gorgeous woman with really long flowing blonde locks who tried to get delivered from the tower in which she was imprisoned. She let her locks down outside the window so that her suitor could climb up on her hair. That is Leslie. I thought you might want to see what she looks like when she was like you, graduating from high school. So here is one of the most gorgeous women you're going to ever see. And what she saw in my close friend here, I have no idea. There she is, at her high school graduation. Thanks, Dan. Thanks, Pat.
As Graham mentioned, the Leslie Works Weary Scholarship involves writing, and writing is something that you guys all did a lot of as seniors, and then we came back at the end of senior year and said, hey, wait, if you write one more essay for the Leslie Works Weary Scholarship, you could win an award for college. And so we have 3 winners to announce. Oh, I should mention that we gave the seniors a choice of 3 topics in current events and politics and what's going on in the world as topics for their Leslie Works Weary essays. And actually, all of our entrants chose the same topic, which was a question about, it was a prompt about immigration to the U.S., which I think for many of you is a topic that's very close to your hearts and minds. I wondered if we could get a quick show of hands for how many of our graduates were not born in the U.S. themselves. Yeah, so that's really impressive, and I think a really interesting thing about our senior class. The 3 winners we have, first we have in 3rd place, we have Tran. And in 2nd place for the Leslie Works Weary Scholarship, we have Kathy. And finally, we have the 1st place winner of this year's Leslie Works Weary Scholarship, who's receiving a $1,000 award. In her well-researched essay, she wrote persuasively about the history and tension in the metaphor of the United States as a melting pot for immigrants. She also wrote about her own aspiration to become a law professor and to study the U.S. Constitution and to understand how it affects people in their daily lives, including the experience of immigrating to the United States. So I think she knows who she is at this point, but it is Hannah. Very last, we're going to hear from Graham again. Before that, I have a few reminders. One is that I have checks for all of you, so don't run away without getting them. I also didn't have, oh wait. You know what? I skipped over a very important part of our program, so we're going to throw that in now. I also have hoodies for everyone with the Minds Matter logo, which you can wear when you go off to college. Hopefully talk about the program, represent us well. Enjoyed them. But one thing that I completely forgot and skipped over was we are going to hear from Jessica, who is going to thank our college counselors.
All right, so good morning, everyone. I just want to say that we are all here today because of you all in this room. So the family, friends, the mentors, all the Minds Matter staff. But there's some people who have really pushed us this year in like a crazy ride that I don't think we were expecting that much from. You know, we were like, yeah, let's go. But who knows? So I just want to thank our counselors for always guiding us and giving us the power, like empowering us to be where we are and to move on to our undergraduate education. They were constantly supportive, caring about not just our school life, but our home life and what we were doing for ourselves and for our communities. So I am eternally grateful for all you have done for me, from helping me with FAFSA when I filled out the wrong form, to helping me figure out what colleges to apply to. And Karina shared with me that you helped us find a fit financially and a fit socially in our schools and academically, obviously, because that's the important one. So I just want to say thank you so much, and we have plaques for you all because you are all amazing, and we cannot express our gratitude enough. So first we have one for Deb. And then we have one for Kathy. We have one for Kate.
She's not here.
Here. Not here, still playing. And then Kathleen. And again, thank you everybody for all your help and support in making us, be where we are today and taking us to the next step in the next 4 years. So thank you for everything, and thank you to our counselors.
So while Jessica was speaking, I was just reading this over to make sure I haven't skipped over anything else. I think we're good. There are going to be refreshments afterwards in the cafeteria. And also, I would like to briefly, before you go off to have refreshments, get all the seniors and the mentors out front of SEI again for a couple more pictures of all of us dressed up. Don't worry, we'll try and make it quick this time. But then last, we are going to hear from our Executive Director, Graham.
I'm always nervous speaking in front of all of you. You know. Well, congratulations to you guys, all of you, mentors, students. You call them mentos, I call them children, they don't like it. And I would like to also make a special mention for the tutors. For the parents' benefit, the day is cut in half. There's 2 hours in the morning and 2 hours in the afternoon, and Ben's math is not very good. He says he's here for 5 hours. It sounds like 4. Maybe he gets here early for extra credit. So the tutors are here the same amount of time as the mentors, and they provide a tremendous leverage for the mentees in terms of augmenting what they know or think they know about vocabulary and grammar and spelling and city and poetry and critical thinking. So we kind of soften you guys up in the morning for the mentors when they show up. So there's things to keep in mind if you go off on your journey. Lots of people to thank. You've all done that. I would start out by saying I thank the parents for the confidence that you've placed in this motley group of people to take charge and try to help out, at one point 3 years ago, total strangers, to see if they can help advance their own academic potential without the commitment of your children. This wouldn't happen. It's all up to them. They self-select. I want the parents to know that the students sitting here constitute a very unusual set of characteristics. Your children are unusual. There are a lot of people in their particular demographic who want to go to college or have heard about it, think they do. But a very small sliver of those will actually make the commitment to give up their Saturdays 3 years in a row. So what is that in today's world? That's what I call a miracle. This whole Minds Matter experience is a miracle. You guys commit to this. The mentors commit to come and work with you on the Saturdays. The tutors do the same thing. The counselors who are eminent, and Ben calls them tireless. You guys know I like vocabulary words, so indefatigable would be one that you might run into. It's equals tireless. And so when you put all this capability, all these characteristics in a cauldron and brew it up, you have this very august, impressive group of people, mentors, tutors, students, staff. Dan, thank you very much for once again chairing this. So I am simply impressed with all of you, parents included. So I wanted to just say a couple of things more, if I could. You might have noticed that 4 of our students are going to Pacific Lutheran University, one of the finest schools in the country. They would not be able to go were it not for a benefactor who comes in like the Deus Ex Machina, shows up on the stage. By the way, that's Greek. It's like a guy that came up and saved everything at the end of the play. The Deus Ex means the god of the machine. They flew him in on a big cable. Dale Benson shows up about 8 years ago and says, he looks at you guys, and he said, what can I do to help? He was a very successful entrepreneur, so he set up, he was a regent at Pacific Lutheran University. I'm saying this because he's not here, and I want to honor him. So he set up a scholarship for the Minds Matter students who could get into Pacific Lutheran to pay the difference between the scholarship they could get from Pacific Lutheran and the tuition. That scholarship has now grown to $120,000. He set aside specifically for Minds Matter students who go to Pacific Lutheran. So
Every year.
Dale, who came to our soiree.
He gives that much every year.
Pardon me?
He gives that much every year.
Yes, and he keeps refunding. So let me just leave you with this. Churchill said the most important quality, I say this every year, Churchill said that the most important quality to have is courage. Because he said it is the one quality that makes all the other ones possible. All you guys have courage, every one of you. You have the courage of your own convictions. You have the courage to take a risk, which you did. The mentors are the same way. You have the courage to take the risk. The parents, you're all courageous. You took the risk to allow your children to come here. So there's a book I recommend. I always like to recommend books. I've done this before. It's written by David Brooks. He's a columnist for the New York Times. He's written a book called The Road to Character. You guys are on that road. Here it is. I haven't finished it, but I'm plowing through it. It's very interesting. He was here in Portland, the University of Portland. Gave a speech about a month or so ago. Packed. So, pursuit of character is important. All of you guys have character. You wouldn't be here if you didn't. If character is sacrifice, personal sacrifice, perseverance. I'm going to plug another book. There's a new book out that reminds me of you guys and the mentors and the parents. It's called Grit. And it's about perseverance. And that the key to success is not necessarily how smart you are. Is can you stick to it? Can you hang in there? Can you stay with it? Can you be persistent? Can you persevere? So I recommend that you get it. It's written by Angela Duckworth, and it was covered on the PBS NewsHour last week, actually. It's called Grit. So grit means something to everybody. I recommend 2 books because I like to say